said for that reason, the numbers did not add up. And so it was a nullity. We cannot have it to stand. Convention he's talking about. This is the convention. So what is it? And then they're rushing there to kill human beings.
Okay, but what about the most recent issue that he refers to where there's a voice vote?
Yes.
There is no clarity about who's won. They've asked for a division. And the speaker in the chair...
Where was the speaker anyway? Where was the substantive speaker at this time?
But that's a separate question.
The
presiding speaker then suggests that he will vote. And I think Ambrose Derry corroborates that position by rising to say that that's where we know by convention that whoever is presiding...
No, you are getting it wrong. These are legal, very, very serious legal matters. So don't rush into convention about this particular issue. Pretty critical. Joe Osei-Owusu is a lawyer. He is a member of parliament from Bekwai, close to Adanse Asokwa, my junior at school. Still takes me as a senior that I was, gives me a lot of respect. His view of the interpretation of the Constitution at the time, and he maintains it. And until the Supreme Court says whatever it wants to say, because your richest guy is in the Supreme Court, and I pray that the Supreme Court should actually handle this matter quickly so sanity prevails. His view is that as a member of parliament from Asante Bekwai, he is included in the voting in parliament. When the Constitution states in Article 102, 103, 104, states about the functions of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, it distills clearly what role the Speaker should play when he's sitting. Speaker can't cast a vote, has no casting vote, has no original vote, hasn't got anything. We then deal with the matter of the Speaker. Article 104(1) talks about the numbers. Jose Usu is asking for me rightly the question. When he goes to sit, and there's a reason why the Speaker doesn't vote. He is not a member of parliament. He is a member of parliament. When he goes to sit on the chair, that's it by the very true ipso facto, seems to be a member of parliament for what we call it for Bekwai. As it seems to be that the 104(1) that I'm talking about also makes a very serious point. It says this: when we come to deal with the numbers, the majority that it talks about, it's about all the members of parliament. Now, members of parliament, the number is what, 275? Yes, all the members. It doesn't exclude the deputy who might be presiding. What it excludes is the speaker. So, Osei-Owusu sees this to be a member of the
Are you saying this in relation to voting or just...
No, voting. It says voting.
So even if he's presiding, he can vote?
So this is his argument which I subscribe to. Because any other...
so then why doesn't he take part in the voice vote then?
You see, do you know whether he took part in the voice vote or not? He was sitting there.
But how do you determine who's won in listening to the voice vote if you also shouting?
That you should be asking the parliamentary whatever.
But does that not leave? Is that not like sort of self-implied that if you are the one refereeing, you cannot take part in the game?
That is normally created by this Constitution, so we should be careful what the Supreme Court says.
Let me take a quick response to this point. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Honorable Muntaka, what do you make of the argument he's making in relation to that grey area of presiding but being a member of parliament and therefore you can't be denied of your vote?
My brother, he's a lawyer, and you have the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer. I keep saying that I read a lot.
But sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I mean, I see the point. He says that if you let him, he will talk and talk.
No, let him go. I just want to listen to his response.
So let me take it.
No, go ahead.
I personally kept quiet, not because I agree with what I was saying.
Yeah, of course. That's the point. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I think that at least you give me that same respect.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
That's so fine.
Read 102. You see the member for the choir, the first British speaker will tell you, 102 is talking about quorum. Because in 102, it's explicit. It says that quorum in the house shall be 1/3 of the house, excluding the person presiding. And he agrees that, yes, once you're presiding, whether it is the speaker, whether it is the member, whoever, once you are presiding, you are out of the quorum. Then I simply ask. So as at the time that you are being excluded as part of the quorum, do you then cease to be the member of parliament for the choir? This is simple logic. It is a privilege that we give you. That day I reminded him. with all humility, you are my junior in this house. But when you are sitting, I've never sat there. It is because we have given you that privilege to sit there. So anytime that privilege comes, it comes with consequences. And that is why the Article 102, when it comes to quorum, explicitly excludes you. And in my view, if you look at that portion from 100 all the way to about the 104, it is talking about the same thing. It's talking about quorum and talking about decision. And we are saying that you cannot read 104 standing alone without adding 102. Because if you are excluded from being part of the quorum, how can you be included in part of the number to take decision? It is absurdity. But like I said, he made reference that, when they made all those arguments, they were not chaotic. Honorable Katie, you were not chaotic because we did not try to abuse the rules. When you were against the right to information and frustrated it, we did not try to abuse the rules. If you had tried to abuse the standing orders of the House and the Constitution and still call your bluff and say, to hell with you, we're still going ahead, you will have been more violent than us. Because I knew very well that how you people were determined that we will not pass the right to information bill. But we restrain ourselves to stick to the rules of the House by listening to you.
Mutaka, quick question. Mutaka, quick question. Mutaka, can we say that the budget is a more serious issue, with all respect to RTI and military equipment? Without budget, nothing happens. Can we say that because the stakes are higher in the budget, even though your RTI example may be true, this is a more serious issue because without a budget, the government cannot move. And therefore, maybe their posture could be, if not justifiable, at least understandable.
Because you need a budget. You need to get the budget at all costs, without regards to the rules of the House, without regards to the constitution of the country, our practice. So you just have to turn upside down because you need to have a budget. You think that one is right? Then you are also trying to justify that the ends justify the means. So you choose which one is of priority, and because this one is very important to you, you are willing to turn the rules upside down so that you can have it. When other things are of less importance to you, that one, you adhere to the rules. No, the rules are the rules, and the rules are supposed to be followed, whether the thing is very important, whether it is less of important. But I'm giving you an example why we help to make sure that it did not degenerate into chaos, because we stuck to the rules of the House by not abusing the rules of the House and the Constitution. What they are simply doing is that to tell us that, look, regardless of whatever we want to do, we would get what we want at all costs. And when you say you want to get what you want at all costs, that is the results. You get the reaction that you get. Because everybody knows that anything that happens in that chamber is a closed book, and nobody is going to sit. And fortunately, myself and Honorable Katie Amo are all Muslims. And the teachings of the prophets is very clear that don't cheat, but don't allow yourself to be cheated.
All right.
And that is the principle that we are keeping. We will not cheat, but believe me, we will not sit and allow ourselves to be cheated. And let me say this. In our effort, because of today where we find ourselves, instead of us to build bridges, try to turn around and create new precedents, it will eat all of us up tomorrow. I rather believe that the time has come for all of us to realize that the days of winner takes all, and for that matter, minority just have his say and majority have his way, is over. Let us appreciate, all of us, both of us. I mean, believe me, my brother, this kind of parliament doesn't call for excessive partisanship. It doesn't. That is why you will see that anytime there's secret ballot, one side gets shocked. You remember during the election of the speaker, they got the shock because there were some members on their side who sincerely believe to strengthen our democracy, we need to get a speaker that is not from their side. When it came to the election of the ministers, that was why you got people on our side voting to put ministers against our party position. because they believe that it is not, many of them I would say, it is not our business to determine who becomes the minister in President Nanado's government, but because those were secret ballots. But in a public or in an open vote, where all of us are picked based on excessive partisanship, if we don't break that and be able to come to the middle, both of us, and be able to find a common working ground, believe me, this will be happening again and again and again. Because the kind of utterances that you get from, especially the majority leader, I always say, he's still in the mood of a minority leader that have moved into a majority leader that had 169 and therefore can flex to every level. And Honorable K2 sometimes be there when we are arguing. Even Sundays, there have been instances that, on Sundays we were called to come to Parliament because of the abuse. Those days are over. Let us all agree that, look, we cannot keep to our excessive partisanship
all right,
and expect to be able to run an effective Parliament.